Hi, everybody. Mitch Tannenbaum here. Thanks for joining me today. Today, I'm going to talk about a piece of the insider threat problem, specifically the cyber risk associated with insiders. This started when I saw a news piece about a guy who was a network administrator for a, quote, prominent Hawaii-based financial services company. The Department of Justice doesn't name them for some reason. And this guy is accused of logging on after he was fired, using his credentials that still worked, and redirecting web traffic and email traffic to, quote, computers unaffiliated with the company, unquote. So that's a bit nebulous, but obviously they weren't getting their email, and when people went to their website, they were going someplace else. His motivation apparently was to convince his employer to hire him back. That didn't work. And also not only hire him back, but hire him back at a higher salary. He hasn't been sentenced yet, but he faces a maximum of $250,000 in fines and 10 years in prison. So with that as a basis, that kind of started me thinking, well, how common or how rare a problem is this? And it turns out it's more common than I would have thought, and it's not limited to IT folks. So in another IT case, a former real estate broker, database administrator, wiped 4 databases and application servers. It belonged to a Chinese real estate broker, so probably nobody's going to feel too sorry for them, given the relationships between us and them right now. But they say it crippled their operations, and their employees went without salaries for an extended period of time. Now, I don't know about you, but I would think you wiped out 4 servers, so you format the disk, you reload it from backups, and a couple hours you're back up. Seems like that to me. Of course, maybe if this Chinese firm didn't have any backups, that could be a problem. Or if they never tested the backups, that could be a problem. But that's not his fault. That's their fault. Of course, the law doesn't see it that way. They said it cost them $30,000 to restore the 4 servers, which kind of indicates either that's a lie or they really had a crappy cybersecurity program. But that notwithstanding, it did certainly cause an outage. But it's not just IT folks; it's anybody. So in another story, a part-time remote worker who I guess was involved somehow in the mortgage application process. They don't really say what her job was. Access systems belonging to the credit union after she was let go. Again, her credentials were not turned off, and we see this kind of as a recurring theme here. How come people can't quite figure out how to turn off employees' credentials when they leave, either voluntarily or involuntarily? But they didn't. And what she did as an ordinary vanilla user who had write access to a particular folder on the network, she just deleted everything in the folder. 20,000 some odd files and 3,000 directories. She did this in a matter of a handful of minutes to do this. It's just kind of delete star, everything is gone, right? In the case of the credit union, they're blaming their outsourced IT provider, which could be legitimate, that they told them to turn off the credentials, but didn't actually bother to see whether they actually did it or not. And when she could get in, she just went off and wiped them out. They claim they spent $10,000 reconstructing the data. Again, sounds to me like bad backups. You have one shared drive, you load the backup disk, you say copy star.star, and you're done. This should take, in terms of the process of actually causing the backup to be started or restore to be started, less time than this podcast. If it took more time, then clearly their disaster recovery processes were faulty. But nonetheless, she's going to wind up getting whacked for that, and she should. I mean, that's not playing nice, does not play well with others, kind of thing. Another case, another network admin was suspended and then fired, but he still had his company computer, and he accessed the network and deleted admin permissions from other accounts, so that the other admins in the company couldn't actually do admin stuff. And there's lots more of these, both normal user, like in the case of the Penn South Credit Union, and administrative users. But it just kind of points to the fact that there are a lot of cases here where it's fairly easy for a malicious employee or ex-employee, an employee with malign intent, to go off and do damage. And the question becomes, are you prepared? Are you just hoping that that never happens to you? Hope is always a good strategy. I like hope. Or do you actually have a plan? And the plan should be, what do you do to prevent it? And what do you do in case the prevention techniques don't succeed? So from that perspective, you need kind of two plans. Obviously, if you need help with this, we'll be happy to do that. In the meantime, sort of ponder where you think you are, and then the question becomes, have you ever tested that? And that would be my number one question. Go test that. For example, go look at the Penn South Credit Union case and say, okay, so this shared drive, the M is for mortgage drive, just got wiped out. How long will it take us to recover that? And see if that's an acceptable length of time. If it's not an acceptable length of time, well, then you got to fix the process. We'd be happy to help with anything you need. Let us know. And until next time, thanks for listening.
Turnkey Cybersecurity and Privacy Solutions offers the complete cybersecurity program for small to medium-sized